Welcome back to another episode of Todos Toman podcast. Muchachos, this is episode 104, episode 2 of season 3. So here we are, another episode. Muchachos, we got Miguel, we got Tank, we got Johnny Boy, myself, Romero. The whole cast is here. Johnny Boy, this week, he's up for tasting trials.
That's right.
So we will leave him to the end and we'll just kick things off with ¿Qué están tomando?
Well, I'll start off. So I'm drinking Brothers Bond. I'm really trying to understand if I like it or not. I'm still undecided. It's not bad. It's just
Oh, Brothers Man es el de la semana pasada del Vampire Diaries, ¿ah?
yeah, I think from like 2 episodes back or something. Because I think last one it was I had the mixed drink.
Pero you said you had seen it or you had tried
Yeah,
it before, something
I
like
had
that?
seen
I
it,
know we talked about it.
and I
Ajá.
finally was able to try it. And
Ahí meritos donde le firmé.
aquí esa es la firma de Romero, dude, right there.
Sí, dude.
Yes.
Y la cago y firmo como yo, ¿no?
She still doesn't notice, no? At the end.
You see it?
Like, damn. Beautiful ass signature, no? Well, obviously she hasn't said anything, so she don't care. She don't care. She hasn't listened to the episode. But Tank, what you got going on?
Pues aquí la Over-Reliable, dude. Unas modelitos, dude.
Okay.
Muy bien, algo tranqui.
I like that. I like that. But Romero, what
I'm
you got going
feeling
on?
the...
Because I see that over there.
Okay.
What is it?
The
I
sponsor,
believe
no?
I had it before. No, it's I mean, might as well. It's a brewery here in Chicago, Revolution Brewery.
Mm-hmm.
Fistmas is an red ale ginger with orange peel. I think we've had this before, or at least I know I had before. El Santa
Sounds like
Claus ponchado era.
That's cool. The art's pretty cool.
I was gonna say that sounds like a fucking naughty Christmas, no? Fistmas?
Fistmas.
I know. Dude.
Oh, depende, dude. If you're on the naughty list or on the good list, dude.
I don't know. They both sound pretty naughty.
Let's see. Wait. Yeah. So you say you tried it, no, Romero?
I have during the season for sure.
Oh, it just comes out
Yeah,
literally
no me
specifically
acuerdo.
during the season.
The
Yeah,
beer
pues,
or
yeah.
Fistmas, no?
No, I'm assuming that maybe it was a beer, and then they just kind of twisted just the name.
No, porque it's the ginger. Orange
Okay.
peel?
Makes sense. Okay, that's true.
So quiero pensar que es like Christmas in a can.
Okay.
So ya veremos ahorita la prueba otra vez para recordarme porque I mean it's a six pack, so
Dude, I was gonna
ya,
say,
ya no me acuerdo cómo
I was
sabe.
gonna ask you what's the percentage de alcohol que tiene.
Oh, the percentage of alcohol is 6.5.
No, it's not bad.
Full festive flavors for jolly, joyful jingles.
Ooh,
Fistmas.
damn.
O sea, de que está nari esta sensa, ¿eh? O sea,
That name, dude. It's like,
For real, the name is kind of throwing me off a little bit.
está encueradillo ahí under. Como que le quiere hacer un chavo del 8 ahí.
this thing, no?
I'm fisting. Oh,
Va, Johnny Boy, pero pues you're up for tasting trials, so let's do the quick little intro. This is and for the listeners, tasting trials is basically where we feature a drink that we saw online under a social channel, and then we're just gonna try it. We're actually gonna share my screen, and we're gonna kind of see that as well here. So, tasting trials. Here we go.
Damn.
Sacrifice.
I know, dude. No, that intro's crazy. Jesus Christ.
So
Vamos.
walk us through, dude. It's not gonna have audio, I hope, porque no quiero que nos censuren. Pero,
Damn.
on rim,
Okay. On rim, yeah,
Ice.
tajin, ice. Then he smashed some raspberries. Smash. On limon, Malibu, some ice. Shake that up. Shake what your mama gave you, and then ya lo pones with a little bit of Sprite and a little tap de limonera. Cheers. Fuck.
órale.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I had that tajin chamoy, but I used another one. So it doesn't look that bad, right? Check it out. It doesn't. It's actually pretty
Va,
nice.
como que ya el chamo estaba a punto de echarse a perder por ahí, ¿no? Como que esa tiene costra, ¿no?
And I got two porque ya ven cómo son ustedes.
Va,
Always
va, va.
prepared. And again, this is called a Malibu Raspberry Sunset. Okay. And this is by somebody in TikTok by the name of at Dennis.mixology. Again, that's on TikTok. So you guys could definitely follow him. I haven't tried it. I pretty much just made it really, really quickly. Then kind of my girl put the little last hints of the lemon on top. So ahí les va, rápido.
Va, un saludcita, ¿no? Ahí, rapidito, ¿eh? Sí gustan, ¿eh? Sí gustan, digo. Salud, muchachos.
That's fucking amazing, dude.
Dinos qué sientes, qué sabes.
It tastes like summer, dude. It tastes like summer in a glass. It's very refreshing, really extremely refreshing. It has the hint of Sprite, so it does lose a little bit of the Malibu taste. You can still feel like a tad bit of the alcohol, and I put a shitload of fucking Malibu. But I recommend it, dude. Definitely.
Your raspberries were like you did smash the raspberry.
Yep. Smash the raspberry. Put some lemon. I did not put the ice. I did not put. I did not put the ice, but nonetheless, again, it came out fire, dude. Fire. Again, I give it like a good solid 9. Solid 9.
So going from summer in a cup to Christmas in a can, dude.
Oh shit, Christmas, that's dude.
Right.
How was that fisting, dude?
Damn.
The fist miss. It's pretty good. It's definitely a red ale, so it does have that like orangey taste. I mean, you don't feel the ginger a lot, but it's nice. It's a nice feeling. Ya me siento que voy a hacer un little bonfire aquí fuera de la casa. Para sentir el frío y una de estas. Because I'm using my cup, dude.
Oh, nice. Dude. You're feeling nice. That's what's up.
Gracias al amigo, ¿cómo se llama?
Juan,
yo iba a decir Jesús, pero yo sabía que estaba mal.
El amigo Juan. Thanks, amigo Juan. We appreciate
the most honest thanks, ¿no? Dice yo.
Speaking of Christmas y todo, allá ¿está frío? Is it cold there?
It's a little weird. Sí se pone frío, pero you get your hints of like, oh, no está tan frío, pero then you're outside a little longer y te cala. So yeah, pero ya hemos tenido poquita nieve también. Like ya nevó poquito. Not a whole lot para que se acumulara mucho, pero it's definitely starting to feel like winter for sure.
Over here, we reached the lowest as like a 65, like during the day, and then like 49 throughout the night. But right now, this whole week's like at 79, 75, like in the 70s.
So, no se vayan a congelar, ¿no?
It's pretty nice. That's why I got that sunset going on. I don't know, dude. That sounds like a hater comment, but it's okay. I'm just gonna ignore it, dude. I'm just gonna ignore it. No big deal.
Put it free zone, ¿no? Like,
do you still have like the Chicago in you, or are you like more accustomed to the California where it's like cuando baja poquito la temperatura, you're like, damn, it's really cold. I gotta put on a sweater. I gotta put on a jacket.
I do believe, strongly believe, because obviously I lived over there with the winter, and obviously over here, I do believe que te acostumbras. So eventually, yeah, I don't experience that type of winter anymore. Pero me acostumbré a lo que es aquí. See, every now and then, yeah, I do. I was like, oh shit, it's a little cold. I was like, what the like, and I'll catch myself like saying, what? Like, I know it's not that cold, how it could be obviously out there. Pero si te acostumbras, and you're like, oh shit, you know.
Que se venir con bufanda, ¿no?
No, mames, tampoco. Let me plug in my headset, muchachos. Espérame, porque se me está muriendo la batería.
Va. Muchachos, Miguel, Tank, any fun things over the weekend? I mean, ¿vieron el gran partido de la América?
Claro, como se debe de ser, religiosamente.
Maybe no el del fin de semana, ¿verdad? Pero...
Miggy, you want to kick it off? Or?
What did I do?
With what?
Like, what did I do? Honestly, so this time I it's December, so it's when I pretty much stack up all my PTO and take almost all of December off. So in December, I'm only working 9 days. So like I didn't work Friday, so I took advantage. Like I was
So
supposed
you're
to
the
have
one
a
that sent
lazy day.
that TikTok about like
Hell
how to
yeah,
get
dude.
what is it, 50 days of PTO with like
Yeah, with
I don't
with
know or
using
something
like
like that.
15 days or something like that. Using
Hmm.
like 10 days, like 20 or 30 PTO days, like because you take advantage of the holidays, you take it either day before or day after, and ya con eso, it's you almost double up all your PTO, right? So I did that this year, and aún así, I still had like maybe I don't know 15 days, 10 days, something like that. So that's what I took off in December. So it's like more like all I did is I went to go do some Christmas shopping, and bro, those fucking malls are packed, dude.
It reminded me how much I hate. Like I didn't even like go Christmas shopping, but at work we do the Secret Santa thing,
Hmm.
and the challenge is to that you have to get creative, right? Because you can't spend over $20. But from the moment we pick out the names, all the way leading to the holiday party, which is like the 20th, we have to give a gift every day. Uh,
Damn.
Every day.
so you have to get creative, whether it's like a nice quote that you found online, like you print it out in a nice paper, whatever it is, you have to get creative about how you're gonna do a gift every day, only spending $20, leading to the the holiday party.
Todos son maruchan todos los días, ¿no?
I went to Five Below, dude. I'm like, a ver qué me encuentro.
That's good.
Dude, people were like, como si fuera Black Friday, bro. Like,
Oh yeah.
kids were
Because
being
people have the
pushed.
same rules, dude.
Yeah, aisles were falling apart. It's like,
Did you
¿qué
get?
pedo?
Did you guys ever work in retail before, like during holidays or in retail
Uh-uh.
in
Well,
general?
I mean, I did.
Okay. Tank.
Hell no, dude.
Yeah, it's literally one of the worst. I mean,
It's dude, it's
¿Qué dice
horrible.
Jonathan? No, cuando me regresaban los DVDs in the GameStop games,
oh, también GameStop.
Oof.
as
I
soon as
worked.
you saw the same guy that bought the game earlier coming
It
back with
was
the disc in his hand.
I worked through GameStop 2 years through holiday season, and then I worked through Nordstrom 3 years through
That's right. You
holiday.
did that
Oh
So
shit.
shit.
no, yeah, it's a different. Obviously, I know it's retail, the same thing, but it's a different fucking beast, bro. Because yeah, working in Nordstrom and obviously clothes y todo ese pedo, we had
Oh, it's
more is the chances of theft, and it was just it gets crazy for sure.
Yeah, as a shopper, I gotta say, thank God for Amazon, dude. Porque yeah,
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
ya no salgo. Like I remember back then, también like, más if you waited last minute, it's like fuck. The mall's gonna be packed. All these stores are gonna be packed. Like you're gonna have to wait in line for like an hour and a half and shit. So
The
I will
lines that I remember as a
say,
kid,
yeah.
I would hate that. Like we would go to the store and a donde fuéramos, the lines were massive.
Like el año pasado lo que hice fue so I took advantage and like I bought like a lot of things at Macy's, but I would always put for deliver that I was just gonna pick up and they were gonna bring it to my car.
That's the
And
thing, though.
Target does the same thing, right?
Hmm.
That's the thing.
So it was like I don't know if you guys remember, was it last year, 2 years ago? It was fucking freezing, right? And I would go pick up all the stuff. Y ahí salía la señora, like, pues ya ves que están trabajando. Se ponía su suétercito, salía afuera, todo estaba steam la señora. But I was
fuck.
like, damn,
Ya
I feel so bad.
con la artritis a todo lo que daba, ¿no?
Y
Pero
sí, I swear, like, I had tickets with me in the car, right? And I think by like the third time or fourth time I did pick up, porque ya ves que te llegan cosas little by little. So by the third or fourth time, dude, like la señora se me quedó viendo bien emputada, dude, porque I guess she recognized the car that I
Hola,
kept coming.
Miguel. ¿No?
Yeah, she like,
Buenas
I was
tardes.
like, oh, shit. Yeah, I was like, damn.
and,
So
and the awkward part for me when you do those pickups, I think I've only done them like twice. Um, es de que te dan a escoger, like te dan las cosas, or you just kind of tell them to put them in the trunk.
mm,
yeah,
That was the thing. Romero,
you're like,
did he freeze or is it me?
no,
no,
yeah,
it's
he froze.
he kind of like froze.
Okay.
Se
I
quedó
did.
así, dude.
I know,
Se
dude.
quedó así.
With the bag in his hand, dude.
Con la bolsa. Es que está pesada, dude. Está
Sí,
pesada la
dude.
bolsa, dude.
Dude, I will
Uh,
be. I would say that through. I only did it one time, like the curbside pickup thing, and that
Uh-huh.
was through Nordstrom, like for Mother's Day, something for Mother's Day.
Uh-huh.
And I was buying my mom and my sweater like a perfume or whatever. And it was that. It was was it contactless
Contactless, yeah.
the delivery or pickup. So
Mhm.
where you literally could open up the trunk and then they'll put it right there and then goodbye. That was obviously due to COVID, but they keep going with the same tradition now with
Yeah.
with all that, which is cool. Which is cool. I think
Hell yeah, dude.
obviously everything evolves, right? Obviously we didn't have Amazon before, or we did, but we not like how it is now. And with that pickup, curbside pickup is that's a game changer for sure, dude. That's a
Yeah.
Hell,
game changer for
And now
everybody.
even you could do it in grocery stores too.
Yeah, dude. But even then, now, like I use a lot of Instacart
Instacart,
too.
yeah.
Yeah, I use a lot of Instacart.
The only thing I don't like about Instacart is like like last time I was gonna cook something, right? So I got vegetables, I got meat and stuff. Wait, me mandaron, like I asked for a sirloin steak. Me mandaron a thick ass fucking T-bone steak though. Like no says my mom. I started saying pinche chingadera was like this thick and it
Good
was just like
luck
huge. I
cooking
was
that
like,
shit.
fuck. Y luego like pues obvio, I had got like mushrooms and tomatoes. Dude, like you could tell the person did not give a fuck. Dude. Nomás agarró lo que encontraba, lo aventaba, and I was like, fuck, these tomatoes look pretty nasty, dude. Pero pues I
Dude,
guess that's what happens, though.
no, it does happen, and I'll be honest with you. I think we experienced something like that where we ordered something from like a Mexican market close by,
Mhm.
and obviously I don't know. We ordered say like jamon selecto or something, the food. And then they gave us, I don't know, something completely the opposite, but it's still ham, but just nothing of what we ordered. And the person that delivered it, not to be racist or anything, but I don't know if they were white or if they were black, whatever it might be. But at the end of the day,
Shit. Damn, wait,
what?
like not to be racist, they were
No, because
white
let me explain.
or
Let me
black.
explain.
Like
Let
that's
me
a
explain.
huge.
Let me explain.
They might
Because
have
Okay.
not been familiar with the
exactly, they're
items.
not familiar with the
Okay,
brands, with
okay.
all that stuff.
You
So
want
I understand
Taijin?
that.
Taijin, is that what you're looking for?
Right, so I understand. So past after that we order, like if we were going to get something like either in a can or drinks or whatever it might be, then we ordered through Instacart. But when it comes to like vegetables or actual food, like food, carne, lo que sea, we do not do any Instacart, just because they're going to get it wrong, and then
Yeah,
eventually we're going to have to go out to the store and get it ourselves. So we
yeah.
just try to avoid all that shit and move forward, yeah. Okay, muchachos, let's keep it moving. We do have a very interesting topic today. Today's topic is called modern media warfare. You know,
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah. And I know we all did some research, right? According to us, I do have a couple points de lo que el primo GPT that I wanted to share, and then whatever comes up, obviously I'll kind of read a description, and then if you guys want to tag along with it, uh, obviously
But
you guys are
well,
more than
I
welcome.
wanted to just real quick to add porque as we were planning season 3,
Right.
this was a topic that came up, and it definitely like I just want you to kind of let the listener know like where did that come from? Like how did this topic even get chosen? Like it was you don't remember? I mean, it's
andaba
okay,
pedo, ¿no? Y
It was just spitballing, no?
I know there was a thing, but okay, well, you know I'm very forgetful, dude. Everybody
I
knows that.
got you, dude.
Okay, there we go.
I'll tell you one thing you're gonna remember
Ah,
instantly,
gotcha.
dude.
Sí.
Gotcha.
You were talking about Magavision.
Ah, there we go. You see? Easy. Okay.
¿Y qué dije?
Right. And what was going on? No. So yeah, during that time when we were planning all this stuff for everybody listening, the topic came up because there was an interview from Representative un periodista de Univision was interviewing Trump, and apparently the questions that he asked were very, according to people criticizing the interview, they're very weak. They could have been a little bit more strong, especially talking about immigration. And so being that is Univision is particularly almost 100% Hispanic, I'll say listeners, but listeners or watchers, whatever you want to call it, just the audience itself. But apparently also during that time, Biden, throughout the commercials, he bought ads for his campaign, right? And Univision never really they didn't release him. I was reading something that they didn't release him. Yeah, they released them in some states, and in some states they didn't. Which
Mm.
in general they were supposed to be released. Period. Like doesn't matter where you were at, they were supposed to be released, but they didn't release some ads. And then after the interview, they went ahead and one of Biden's campaign. I don't know if it was a representative or what it was, but they reached out to Univision and they were like, "Hey, well, I would like to go on and it's not going to be the president, but I represent the president. I'm part of the campaign, and I want to go ahead and kind of touch points on what Trump said about in this case Biden." And Univision kind of denied him. So people were boycotting. Are actually people like actors and stuff, Latino actors and people in the industry, they're famous or whatever, is they were actually trying to boycott Univision and they were calling it Magavision. So that's why, in this case, yeah, that's how this topic came about. So
Yeah. There's people that even quit, like that work there.
that's right.
I know
Yeah.
some of their
Oh, damn.
big periodistas, like they quit.
Yeah,
Um,
there was a guy here in California who would do the
yeah,
noticiero here, and he was really good here. And they would every now and then they'll send him out to Miami, where I guess the headquarters is at, and he'll do the noticiero nocturno, like in this case nationally, right? Because every city has like a regional thing,
Yeah. Hmm.
a local thing, and they would send them out there. But he also quit right after all that stuff, and you know he didn't say anything. He didn't say why. He just said, "Oh well, you know my time is done with Univision. I thank them, and I'm very happy." Blah blah blah, and that was it. So, but yeah, a bunch of people, periodistas que ya tenían años, like plenty of years, and they were really good people. Yeah, they definitely went ahead and called it quits on them.
yeah, because so I think what a lot of people were saying is Univision is considered the like number one source of noticias for Latinos. And when you have somebody, for example, like Trump, right, where there was a lot of controversial discussions that were affecting a lot of Latinos, that they should have kind of like driven him a little bit more. Pero
Like
después
pressed a
salió que
little more,
también, yeah,
a little bit
pressed
more
him a
with the
little bit
questions,
more.
no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ya después salió que like so Univision got new owners and they happen to be really good friends con ¿cuál es el yerno, ¿no? De Trump. Es
Oh,
el
I don't know.
esposo de su hija, ¿no?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I
forgot
think
his
es el
name.
esposo
I
de su
forgot his
hijo.
name,
Yeah,
but I
like,
was trying to
I
remember.
don't, I can't remember his name either, pero
Ivanka, no? Ivanka Trump?
yeah, like,
Pero
yeah,
su esposo.
yes,
Fuck, I
su
forgot his
esposo.
name.
And so, like, they're really, really good friends, and I that's how the
Jared
interview kind of,
Kushner.
Jared.
yes, him. I think
Yeah.
if that's what Google says, then yes. If you're just throwing a name out there, then
También
I don't
yes, no?
know.
También yes.
We'll
Because we
just
don't
go with
know.
it, no?
Yeah, dude, because we don't know. He could have said Stone
Because the
Cold
way he
Steve Austin.
said
Oh,
it,
yeah, that's right. You know, him.
Give me a hell yeah, no?
Sí, güey. Yeah,
yeah,
that,
so that's how the interview happened
that's crazy.
because of
Dude.
that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you guys brought it up, right? Like I had at that point, I hadn't seen anything about it, and what I thought was crazy is that I mean the whole campaign que se hizo, like obviously when Trump was in office, um, anything that that he said, whichever side you stand on politically, like he said a lot of stupid stuff that it's crazy that a president ended up getting away with by saying, and then
Yeah.
especially with the Latino population. Obviously Univision, like yes, there's Telemundo and all that, but Univision kind of holds the flagship there. Like I think Univision is larger as far as audience goes than Telemundo, although like Telemundo's also making their stride and they've been around for so long. But for Univision to have a representative from from their brand go and interview or bring in Trump to get interviewed and not press him in any of those issues or any questions, and even the phrasing how it got done, it was
Yeah.
all very like, oh, do you think you're gaining the Latino vote because of these things that you've done recently, versus making him feel a little uncomfortable based on the shit that he's been saying all along.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like when you guys told me about that and I started looking it up, I was like damn, that's crazy. But then you start looking into it a little bit more, and sure enough, there's ties with the Trump family and all this other stuff, and that's why like I think we went like with that modern media take, but also at the same time, it's like it's been happening for years. Like TV
Yeah.
just dictates a lot of the shit that goes on, and
I
at
think
what point or
yeah.
how do you even stop that?
Right. But I don't really think we nobody really can. In this case, it's we all understand and we all could pretty much agree that the media is controlled by, in this case, the government. Would you guys agree with that?
I don't think it's really the government. I think so. I think it depends, right? I think it's definitely controlled by other parties, whether that be political, whether that be just like a
Wherever the
people with
money's at.
money. Yeah, like
Yeah.
if you're like opposites, just like the like the those big rich people, they're the ones that control the media because they know que dan, or they own it, or they own a parent company. But there's a lot of bias when it comes to all the media, and I think it's very hard to beat it. I think there's been small media companies que han salido, right? And at one point they were like, oh, like we're gonna be unbiased, we're gonna do this, but little by little they start being biased again, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
even them, for example, whether they start talking about kind of like more pro Democrats or pro one party or pro one point of view, but they like all it becomes a bashing of the other side. And when news comes out that affects kind of like who they like who are they in favor of, como que like they'll wishy-washy, so I think it's hard. It's definitely hard for you to get somebody that's completely unbiased. Yo por eso on TikTok, dude, I follow the news daddy and the fish the from SpongeBob, dude.
Yeah,
Dude,
that shit comes up
like
every now and then, dude.
like I'm
Breaking
telling you.
news.
Yeah, dude.
Pinche boom.
Like those are my news sources now, dude.
Yeah, dude. No more Magavision or Telemundo
No
and all
more
that stuff.
Magavision, dude. Now it's SpongeBob, dude. SpongeBob.
So
Did you
I know.
guys ever watch? Oh, go ahead.
No. I was gonna say I know we were talking about obviously political stuff, and that was one of the bullet points here of the stuff for which political influence. I just want to read real quick that, and then
Oh,
it was
dale.
media coverage of political events and candidates can significantly influence public opinion and political outcomes. Biased reporting or sensationalism can sway public sentiment and impact political decision making. Right, we're going into um, uh, what is it called? The elections next year. Is it next year? It is next year, right? Next year around November.
Sí, no,
Yeah,
2024.
2024.
We're going to elections next year, and we're literally that's I feel it's starting the beginning of the year, or it's already started, but starting beginning of the year, it's just going to get so heavy
Yeah.
on ads and on I'm sure on social media, shit's going to come up about whoever the fuck is running and this and that and blah blah blah. So it's definitely like we're saying, it's a way to communicate with people and to either change their mind or to affirm them of their decision based on their political aspects.
Yeah. Yeah.
The wild thing is that before, like TV was the way. Well, before TV was the radio. Now
Mhm.
TV was the main outlet. Now with different social media channels, the internet, like that just like kind of brings a whole
Oh yeah.
wave of new things, right? Um, last election and maybe I mean since I guess a few years now, more than a few years, even like political views, right? Like anybody can make a janky ass site and call it the truth, it is what it is.com or whatever, and then you
No,
post an
Romero ya lo
article
compró,
based
¿no?
on
Por
your
eso, por eso lo está
that's,
haciendo.
that's why I'm
It's his
plugging
Romero
domain.
ya
it.
lo tiene comprado.
It's his domain.
The truth, it is what
He,
it
he just
is.com. Make
he
sure you
just
check it out,
dropped the name. Just like,
Dude.
did you see that? That
you write
marketing,
an
dude. The
article with
marketing.
whatever political stand and you make a section called facts even though they're not facts, like people will reshare that and then hardly believe in that, and then just the influence that the internet has over people now, whether it's true or not true,
Yeah.
can definitely have an effect now and in the political field for sure.
Dude, and it's crazy because when you see like arguments, like simply listen like, oh, like like are you saying that because that's what the news told you, or like you conducting your
Yeah,
research, and then they bring out their research and it's like little janky like websites where you're like,
Websites.
fuck, dude,
the
like,
truth, it
oh
is
my
what it
man.
is.com.
And
Yeah.
Get your facts.
there's a couple of TikTok channels like that that they'll go ahead and they'll go to like the rallies. In this case, I'm gonna use Trump because that's what they come out, and they'll go ahead and ask them, oh well, what do you think of this and this and that. No, and then they'll give them, no, I think this because Trump never did this and he didn't do that. He never said that. And then they're like, oh, well, I have proof that he said it. He said, well, where'd you get the proof? And then they'll show him the proof and be like, oh no, it has to be either photoshopped or it has to be, it's a lie. Like they don't believe.
We will now see
truth, what's
all
the
those
truth?
It's AI.
AI fake videos and all that shit. I mean, hey, like it or not, Trump started the whole fake news.
He did, dude.
He fucking did, dude.
And it's crazy because you see, like for example, with my dad, right? And Tank could testify to this. Is my dad, whatever he sees on Facebook, he believes.
Dude.
Yeah.
Where it's
My
like,
dad just got hit with that pedrada in his head dude, right now.
like he'll randomly come like, oh, si viste que, you know, like, que fulanito dijo esto about this. I was like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, me salió on Facebook. I was like, you know, just because it pops up on Facebook doesn't mean it's real, right?
That's his source too.
And he's like, no, pues ahí dice. And then he shows me, and it's like, it's one of those like clickbaits where if you click on it, you know you're gonna get a virus for going to those websites. Like it's one of those. I was like, Dad, just cancel out of there.
He has to get his facts, dude, from the truth that it is what it is.com, dude.
Yeah, Romero,
En español.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah, Romero, yeah, he
Flash
keeps
en
my plug,
español.
dude. Do you guys think again we're just going to use Señor Guerrero, do you guys think that obviously we're tech savvy because we were born into all of that stuff, internet, phones, and everything was evolved as we grew up, so we had a big part of it, right? As we learned from it as it was evolving. They had obviously a little bit of an older mentality when it comes to any type of technology. Just have to be the phone, it could be a computer or whatever. Do you guys believe in this case, because of that, because of their old mentality, that's why in this case they believe any little source like that of it is what it is /espanol.com?
I think so, dude. Like it's just like media is such a way to steer people. It's wild porque like I remember even like I probably maybe gave this example about something else, but I remember when I would go to work to the panaderia like super early, right? And but what I do, just listen to the radio on my way to work. Like this is like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever time that was, and I would listen to the morning radio, and I would start listening to I think it was called like the Luis Jimenez show. That's what it was. I don't know if you guys ever listened to it. It was on no sé qué estación 103.5.1 whatever that was. And at that point, so he was out of New York, but he was under the Univision umbrella, and he had a pretty big listener base. Pero from the West Coast, El Piolín was making his name. And he was like super hot in the Hispanic market on the West Coast, not over on this side, on the Midwest and the East Coast, pero because he was making his name. And that's what Univision wanted to push to the masses. They changed them to like a different station, different show. It was hard to listen to the Luis Jimenez show. Different time. Porque they pushed El Piolín across the nation. And then they can then say like, oh, El Piolín, the number one listened to morning radio show.
Right.
Pero they manufacture that. I don't doubt any, like nothing against his talent or anything. I was never a fan of his, but the fact that they decided like, this is the guy we're going to run with and we're going to push him nationwide and you're not going to have an option. People listened to it and they liked it. Porque no tenían opción. Lo mismo, like for years, we've talked about Primer Impacto. Whatever Primer Impacto put on TV, that's the shit we'll be talking about, on the weekends with the tios.
At the time,
like, that's why Walter Mercado was the big shit, because, there was no another Mrs. Cleo in Espanol. Like, it was just Walter Mercado,
I was going to say, I feel like Primer Impacto did condition a lot of, like, Hispanic households to be in that mentality, like, oh, like, why would they lie? It's like lo que sale is the truth or whatever. And I don't know, maybe that's the reason why también se quedó like a lot of like, because I feel like sometimes his reasoning is like, well, why would they put it if it's not true? Like they're supposed to take it down type of thing. So it's like, como que that's his reasoning of why he believes the stuff he sees on Facebook, and yeah, como dices, like I mean, it's similar to like the scamming, like que te llaman y que like, oh, like, like apriétale this link and te vamos a dar $1 million type of stuff, and it's like the people that usually fall for
My
it
dad, no,
are
like, ¿por qué me está hablando el Nigerian Prince? Que necesito un favor.
a ver, consígueme my bank account number, no? Like,
Sí. Está
so yeah,
requiriendo.
like I feel like that's como dices, like I don't know if it necessarily has to do with um being technology illiterate, I guess. I think it's just more so um I don't know, dude, like
Culture?
Being gullible, no?
yeah, being vulnerable.
And I guess we're also that generation that is in between both worlds, right?
We
So
are.
we're able to like I see what you're doing and I could understand why you would kind of fall for that shit, but don't, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Versus them, they're coming from a different angle of like,
like this is new
how
to
do you
them,
reset my password and all that bullshit?
Sí. Dude, I do recall there was an incident with my suegro where I guess he was watching TV and they were saying, "Oh, call now and we'll get you like a free iPhone," type of thing.
Mm.
So he called, dude, and when they say, don't quote me on it, I think I might be wrong. They send him like a box, and in the box it was a brick.
No shit,
Oh
really?
shit.
So he's done this a couple times, and to the point that they've taken away his debit card because he'll give that information away.
Mhm.
So like fuck, so now we got to request another one because they already have your information. They have this, they have that. Kind of like what you guys were saying about the scamming, but it was a TV commercial, and it's crazy because I think I was like, I don't think I'll ever fall for that. But again, with him, I don't want to call him dumb, but I could I guess I understand. Okay, well, what did I buy, Romero? What you left?
No,
Don't
no,
fall
because I was
yet.
no, because I was thinking, right? Like I just talked about like we're that generation that's in between,
See,
but it's like we're talking about like we get our facts, for doing research or whatever. But we all remember that download that you're like, oh, esta es la canción chingona, but then all of a sudden you had Bill Clinton on the other side. I did not.
I
Have
do not have sexual relationships with that woman. Yeah, I remember that shit.
see,
dude.
Like,
so often.
dale, check.
I was gonna say, like, just like really quick. I mean, igual my dad, like, seguido, he'll be like, "Oh, like, like they're selling these tires for this like low price. Do you think it's true?" And I was like, I look at it, I was like, "Dude, don't click on it." And like, dude, a veces he's like necio, like he's like, "No, but it's a really good deal," and this and that. I'm like, "It's a scam, Dad." And he's like, "So like, like it's just stuff like that." And I guess it's things that they never grew up like everything.
Experiencing.
Right. And I feel like at one point we are gonna end up falling for something because it's always something new coming out,
Yeah.
like so it's like
We talked
te la
about
van a
AI,
hacer
dude.
and
Like the
right.
fake
Yeah.
calls that are being done with people's voices.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, that's insane.
Like the fact that you can't hold a video now, or eventually we're gonna get to the point where you can't hold the video as evidence because it
Right.
could be fucking,
Fuck, I
AI
never thought of that.
generated.
I never thought of that. Yeah, that's insane. That's crazy.
Technically we have enough audio of our voices out there for them to generate a fucking phone call with our voices, dude. Like,
Did you guys hear? Going back a little bit to one of this case what Tank was saying with audio, there was a website that released this year. I forgot what month or whatever, but they were able to. You were able to hear yourself from like Call of Duty, or in this case, if you were playing Call of Duty and you had voice chat on, you were able to hear like your recordings based off of your. Well, I think it was your username. You plug in your username, and they gave you the recordings of your audio, either way, if you were talking shit or whatever it was,
Mhm.
and they were able to fucking get that shit out there. Like, fuck.
Imagine
that's
if you hear
wild.
Johnny Boys, dude.
No, hell no, don't. I don't even know the website. Thank God, don't research it.
I didn't. Yeah.
Don't do it, dude. I talked so much shit back then.
just don't run for
You'll
president.
be able to
dude.
find out. No, you'll be able to find out. What is it? The truth is what it is.com.
Slash Espanol, dude.
Slash Call of Duty slash
Slash-
J Del Razo 007. No.
Damn. That's a good one, dude. 007, fucking fire ass game, dude. Bob, just another bullet point, and then we'll keep moving forward. If you guys want to share anything else, fear and anxiety, media coverage of negative events, disasters and crisis can contribute to fear and anxiety among the general population. Continuing exposure to distressing news can affect mental health and well-being. That shit is crazy, dude. Because I'm a firmly believer in that shit, dude. Like they inject fear, and in this case, because they're using the word anxiety, they inject fear and anxiety to many people. And we go back to this case, Senor Carrero, but I'm including my mom too, dude. That she'll watch the news at night before she goes to bed, and she's like, "¿Qué crees? Y lo
Oh yeah, dude,
escuché,
your
blah
mom
blah blah."
is like religious
Hardcore,
about yeah putting the news at night, and yeah, I
yeah, dude.
remember that.
And being dude, she would just wait for el tiempo, no? For like, oh, estoy esperando el tiempo. I'm like, mom, they told you el tiempo yesterday for the week. Like, what are you waiting for? She's waiting what's gonna happen
And,
next week, Wednesday, no? Like,
yeah, for the weather, no, like that's what you
yeah,
mean, the tiempo, yeah.
yeah, the weather. Sorry. That's que así decía. Es que estoy esperando el
Uh-huh.
tiempo. I was like, okay,
Sí.
that's funny, dude. But again, what do you guys think of that? What's your intake on that fear and anxiety?
Well, I mean, I
So
feel like even though like it was a real, thing y todo eso, we saw it at the during the pandemic, dude. Like,
Yeah.
donde like you couldn't like turn the TV on to see anything without it being about,
COVID.
like coverage y todo eso, and it's like I know for me I had to turn it off because it was just being overwhelmed, dude. Me ponía así como dices, like me daba un chingo de estrés, and it's like fuck, dude, like. Well, let me kiss everybody goodbye, ¿no? Porque ya nos vamos a
But
morir
not
todos
literally,
de
no?
shit.
Porque
But not literally, ¿no?
De lejitos.
Sí,
sí, los
but
mandaba.
virtual kisses, ¿no? Like,
Sí, güey.
yeah.
but yeah, dude. I mean, we
It's a thing.
recently saw it
Yeah.
during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, during the what was it the deer ticks. I think any pandemic, any kind of big thing that happens, because obviously there's gonna be a lot of reporting, a lot of like like coverage. So if you already have anxiety, I think it hits you even harder. Like I know Tag suffers from anxiety, I suffer from anxiety, my mom does too, and like from Cassie's house, her dad. So like I used to go to Cassie's house, and her dad would just be watching the news, and it got to the
Mhm.
point where like they would turn it off on him, porque he would get so like
Worked up.
anxious, get like yeah, dude,
Mhm.
like it was bad. Like he would get really anxious about it. So le apagaban la televisión, and they kind of made a rule where he was not allowed to watch the news. And like when I got there, like
Chimi,
yeah,
el
yeah,
culero, güey. Pásale la password de Netflix, güey, ya, ¿qué otra cosa?
and what's it called? Like estaba ahí sentado, and like he was watching the news, and I was like, oh, ¿qué pasó? And he's like changed the channel real quick. I was like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, no, he's like, es que te
Se
mandan,
ponía
me van a
como Johnny
regañar.
Boy in his teenage years, ¿no? Se aventaba la tele para que no vieras.
Así.
You gotta do what you gotta do.com, dude. So
and
Y ya le dices otro domain a Romero, ¿eh?
sí.
and ya me decía, like, oh, es que no dejaban ver las noticias. And like, yeah, Kathy explained to me, and her brother, they explained to me, and they're like, oh, it's because he gets really like anxious and really nervous, and uh like se le sube el azúcar también con el miedo, and like all that, afterwards it
It
becomes
just,
not just
yeah.
anxiety, but other medical things, that could spike up. And I think that's one of the it's good to be informed, but at the same time it's scary because it could affect you, como dice Johnny Boy, like through anxiety, like health wise, right?
Mhm.
So let me ask you guys, like, how do you consume your news outside of like the
Outside the
endless
target pushback.
scroll? No, no, no. Like just like, do you watch any news? Are you intentional about getting your news, or news just come to you based on your social media scrolling?
Mm,
Honestly, for the most part, it's gonna sound funny, dude, but like, I don't really watch news unless it's like algo pasó, like during the pandemic, like pues me fijaba like a few channels, just to see what was going on, or like if there's like some big, like headline that could like some war or algo así.
Hmm.
But other than that, dude, like I'm usually informed porque like I just scroll on TikTok and sooner or later like
telling you, news
algo
daddy, dude.
pasa. Yeah, después from there I just like I'm like, oh shit, like what's going on, and I like search it up, myself.
Mm.
And what was the website again, Romero? No, like
It is what it is. .com, dude. slash social media news. No,
See. But yeah, like, but I don't necessarily watch the news per se, or like I don't go out of
hmm
my way to watch
Hmm.
news.
I used to. I used to watch the news. I used to watch, and I would try and get everybody's point of view. Where like I would watch CNN, I would watch CBS, sometimes even Fox News, just to see what's everybody talking about. But it just got into too much of arguments and shit. It was just like you can tell the bias from each company, and it was just kind of like what, like it's just too much. So now
Hmm.
I kind of watch same like social media. Like I do follow, like I think it's like 4 or 5 different TikToks or TikTok accounts that they report news, right? One of them is some guy named Dylan, like he, like they call him News Daddy. And the other one, like I know you guys are gonna laugh, but dude, that talking fish, dude, like is legit, dude. Like he talks about like world news and things that happen. So a lot of times I don't know. Yeah, como dice the thing, you see something, you're like, oh shit, I didn't know this was happening. So you type it up and you look it up. But when it comes to like more modern media, like this is one of those things that happens, right? Where they were talking about in different countries. If you typed in, for example, Yaroski, when it was the riots in France, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That if you typed in France, like in the US, you got one you got like you would get one side where it's like maybe it's just vacation, like nothing's happening. You go to like Mexico or somewhere else, you type in France and you see the riots, right? And same thing, for example, pues ahora con lo de Israel and in Gaza, no? Like, or the
Hmm.
Hamas. If you type it in, like, they nada más te enseñan one side. They don't show you the other side. And I think a lot of
So even your
companies and a
search
lot of,
engines
yeah, yeah,
are
like they're
tailored to
all like very
what
filtered,
you're meant to see based on
correct.
region. Hmm.
And like what's called even the news, like because like you get all the Israel covering, right? But you don't get, like, for example, lo que está pasando en Gaza, lo que está pasando over in Palestine, and there's a lot of Middle Eastern people that either I know, or for example, like people that Cassie works with, or like like Discover is a huge company, so there's a lot of people from different backgrounds and ethnicities. So sometimes they'll talk about like, oh, like you hear some crazy ass stories where it's like, oh yeah, like the US did a strike and killed so many civilians, right?
Yeah, those are the
And
stats that you wouldn't normally get
yeah, you
here.
don't see that,
Hmm.
you wouldn't hear that. And like, and if you do, it's kind of almost like, oh well, it's the like they're attacking those people because por lo que pasó acá. But it's like it's one of it's you're talking about civilians, right? They had nothing to do with it, and are the ones that are getting like hit. So like it just it doesn't justify it. But like because of the media coverage and the way the media covers it,
Hmm.
it kind of like, oh, this is why it's happening, right? Like look at all this that's happening in Israel. And I'm not trying to point or like pick a side, because I don't think that's kind of something that we should do, right? I think what we should do is kind of like respect everybody, and there's always like more than one side to a story, and both sides could be wrong and both sides could be right about certain different things, right? I just think you need to get the full story in order for you to have that argument. But if you're
Mhm.
only getting one side, it's hard for you to see the whole picture.
And I guess here what you're saying is like if you stick to one source, one channel, one whatever media source you're consuming, like it's just one. It's just geared to that one point of view.
Hmm.
So, I mean, Django, I don't know if you mentioned like how do you consume any news or not
No, dude.
really
No. I know.
intentionally or porque hay mucha gente que is like no, I won't watch the news,
No,
or you
no.
is just because of how your life is structured.
I just think a little bit of both.
Hmm.
Eventually, I know. I'll be honest. As far as my take with Trump when he first won the elections back in what 2016, 17.
16, I think.
Yeah, so back then when he won those elections, I'll be honest, the media made it a big deal. I was a little bit, afraid of what could happen. Me being another DACA and him saying that he was going to revoke all that stuff, and there was a time that I made a comment of fucking Trump wins, then either we'll go back to Mexico or we'll go to Canada. Like I made something like that. By then, I was already with my girl, and she was already pregnant and everything. So um, it's crazy how I remember feeling
It's never
fear
too
and
late, dude.
uncertainty, dude. What to
I mean,
what go to Mexico?
yeah.
Come on, dude. Come on,
Why
you
not,
want to see
dude?
me again, no?
No,
¿Cómo
digo,
qué?
pues, para que nos vayamos juntos, güey. O sea,
Um, pero
Start
yeah,
a news company, no?
see, yeah. But no, I don't do it. I don't do it. Things do come up. I don't follow anything like Miggy religiously on TikTok. That fucking fish does come up on my feed every now and then.
Dude, that
But I
fish,
but I
that
do not
talking
stay
fish,
to
dude.
listen. Not because I don't
no.
want to. It's just no me interesa. Like honestly, no me interesa.
Mm,
I keep going up. There are times where if they report stuff kind of like with the war in Israel and on Gaza and all that stuff, I do watch that stuff. Like and I'll kind of sit there and kind of investigate and do a little bit of research on it. But I'm not again, I don't follow anything. I don't really look for anything. I if anything, if I see something maybe on the phone, they have kind of like the Apple News and it's just like tabs. I'll read it and then eventually I'll be like, oh, okay. If something interests me or I want to see, I'll tap on it and then I'll read the article. But I know there was a mass shooting. Was it last week in Vegas or in Nevada somewhere?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff I didn't know till like 2 days later. Like it happened, I don't say like on a Wednesday, and I found out about it like
Mhm.
on the weekend or on a Friday. So I was like, when did this shit happen? And then I find out that it happened 2 days before, or 2 days, yeah, before I found out.
Before.
So again, stuff like that, I really no, I really don't go out there looking for it, dude.
And the reason I ask is porque I remember, I mean, I guess that's just how I grew up as a kid. Like, y a lo mejor porque there weren't too many options or whatever. I don't know. And you tell me, guys, if you did the same. I grew up fucking with Despierta America, which,
Yeah.
had their new segments every, 15, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I talked about Primer Impacto. Jonathan talked about the Noticiero en la Noche, Chicago, Univision Chicago.
Con Jorge
Like,
Barbosa.
Yeah, dude.
Jorge Barbosa, like I would watch that. Like that was my television, right? And now, like as of today, like
I was
don't.
about to say, yeah, yo pensé que ibas a decir like a news segment. You're like, and now. I was like, híjole, ya.
Like,
Sí, güey, ya va a empezar con...
se va a poner su blazer,
like,
no?
I don't. Again, también por like whatever, my lifestyle schedule, whatever. Like I don't watch any news. I don't like everything I pick up is through social media.
Yeah.
But for a while, I was intentional of like at least let me like while I'm getting my coffee ready or whatever, like I'll ask Google like, hey, give me the news for the day, and I'll listen to that, like just to be aware. Because once I got to work and you open your browser, like there's a couple news and headlines that you see, but you're not well informed. So then I felt like I wasn't informed of what the fuck was going on unless somebody made a conversation about it, and then I had to go and do my research.
That does happen to you here as well. That's right.
So that's why I'm like, I don't consume any news. Porque también on my drive to work or whatever is like I'm listening to like a podcast or something else that is not news related. So
Yeah.
but it does happen, right? Like that shit's going on in the world, and I want to be aware of what's going on, not necessarily being steered into one direction or the other, but just being aware of what's going on. Like that's something that I'm working towards being more intentional about, knowing what's going on.
Yeah. And I think that's fair, dude. But just like you, I'm sure obviously there's a lot of people también que, like you said, based off your schedule, no tienes el tiempo. Y pues when you do have a little bit of free time, pues prefieres hacer otras cosas, no? You said about the podcast.
Wait, la neta, like even like TV, like air TV, whatever that was back then, case for us here in Chicago, like Channel 32, Fox, 66, Univision, whatever it is. Like when you turn on the TV, you don't look for those channels. Like you're looking for YouTube, you're looking for Netflix, Hulu, all these other services. So you're not, at least for me, you're not looking for news.
Same thing with me.
To watch. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, I think también. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, real quick, like, it's crazy how, like, sometimes watching, like, comedy shows that have the news. For example, like the Tonight Show, like like daily shows and all those. Like you get more
Hmm.
news there, and
Yeah.
almost it's a little biased, but it's less unbiased than the actual news channels. Go ahead, Tinky.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, like, igual for us, like siempre, what was it? I think it was like 5 o'clock and then 10 o'clock, el noticiero de
Hmm. Yeah.
Univision. Like siempre también, like I remember,
And
they would
four
watch it.
o'clock was Primer Impacto, y después you roll over to your local news, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, which was fucking crazy, dude, porque like, pinche, no podías dormir, ¿no? With the graphic fucking stories que enseñaban en Primer Impacto.
That's why Tank
Pero
got anxiety, dude.
yeah. No, but like I was gonna say, like I remember even también like doing your own research. Like me acuerdo que siempre nos decían like, well, depending on how you type the question is lo que te va a salir the answer.
Yeah.
You know, like if you kind
True.
of type it a little too biased to one or the other, like va a ser la información que te va a salir on your search history. So I mean, even that, como dices, like search engines and shit, like can't really. It's a lot of a lot of
Yeah, they'll steer you whichever way
right.
they want to steer you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hace ratillo, I was gonna ask you guys, did you ever watch the document? It's not a documentary. It's a movie, a produced movie in Netflix called
Oh,
Dictadura
dictadura
Perfecta.
perfecta. Yeah.
Yeah,
I did not.
I'm sure it's still there, but
Mhm.
it really it's a reflection of how media steers you
Okay. Definitely gonna
into what they want you to
look into that.
see.
Oh,
Based on the whole like Mexican politics and all that. But it's
Find
funny
out
yet
more.
insightful.
You see, find out more. It is what it is. Slash La Dictadura Perfecta review. No,
muchachos, speaking of that as well, did you guys hear or see the movie on Netflix that just came out last Friday, Leave the
Oh
World Behind?
no, I
No.
have not.
no.
Okay. Executively produced by Michelle and Barack Obama.
Oh,
So
say that again. What is it?
executive produced by
No,
the
yo sé,
produ-
pero the name of
Oh,
the movie.
Leave the World Behind.
So is it a movie or documentary?
It's a movie. And you have
Okay.
people like Julia Roberts, who obviously a big actress. Um,
My mom is a
Ethan
huge
Hawke,
fan of
which
Julia Roberts. For some
I
reason.
don't remember Ethan from any movie, but I know
Really?
it's. I mean, I know I've seen him. Huh?
Training Day.
Oh, Training Day. Fuck, that's true, dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
So there's a couple people there that are pretty obviously pretty up there, and it's a trippy movie. I've watched it. It's either you're
Why
gonna
is
like it or you
Trippy in
don't.
what sense?
I'll just let you.
So
I'll
puras
just
riddles, no?
With the answers though, no?
With the answers.
And I was just looking it up because I forgot how what it was called. And one of the things that came up, right? It was the name of it. And it tells you Wikipedia and it tells you the film and the cast. And then in the top stories and this is on Google, it says Obama faces backlash for films warning about white people. So, which is crazy. Again, we're talking about the news, we're talking about this, and they're trying to steer you away, to go here and there. It's pretty much kind of like an apocalyptic thing where the world's ending.
Mm.
And it just gives you different events and different stuff. But I will throw it out there. This is a book that was written. Obviously, it was written, and Barack Obama saw it, and he decided to make a movie of it. But this is something that was already there. Like
Michelle
Obama didn't come up with this. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw it out there. And I'm gonna make a movie about
He
what I'm
just
thinking."
like the Obamas produced it.
Yes,
I was gonna say, is
Wow,
this the
like
first ex-president to produce a movie or like
that's a
to
good fucking
produce?
question, dude. That's a good
that's
question.
that's exactly what I was thinking, dude. So
That's a good
I'm
thing.
sure Trump has produced a few movies, dude. Maybe
But-
pero
both
they
sides.
can be released on Netflix if you know what I mean.
But yeah, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 75. Other critics gave it a 6.6 out of 10, and someone else gave it a 67%.
Well, what
So
did
Dude, yeah, I'll for
it
sure
is what
check
it
that out.
is.
Like that's
Check it
Dot
out.
com, give it.
definitely check it out. Pero yeah, that's something that I definitely would. I just watched it this past Friday, and I think out of me, my rating for that movie is probably like a good 7.5, 8, maybe
out of 10.
Was that
out of 10.
was that once you understood the movie, or you're still confused by it?
So I'll be honest with you, the movie is a little confusing for a lot of people. Okay, and I saw it, not just for me, for a lot of people. But no, it's a good movie. It really is a good movie, and it keeps you entertained and it keeps you locked in because you want to know
Did you
more.
watch it by yourself or did you watch it
No,
with
with my
Anna?
girl. Yeah, you watched
I
it.
want to know her
Watched it
rating
together.
though. Do you know?
I don't, but I could definitely send a quick message and then we'll get back to that what we
Yeah.
do.
Wow.
Pero muchachos,
Like, she'll be like, "Oh no, it's a very easy to follow movie, no?"
we do have to move on to another segment, muchachos. As you guys know, we're testing new segments out. This one's called Triple H, also known as Historical Happy Hour. And today le toca aquí al señor Romero.
I
Hasta el
do.
señor, eh?
Por aquí lo tengo, pero pues I mean we can go right into it. So give me 1 second here.
Okay. Damn.
I feel like
Doo-dum, doo-dum.
I like spray fingers.
Historical happy hour, dude, muchachos. So I did have the Fistmas, which was a Christmas take on red ale. So we talked about being ginger, orange peel, which is pretty good. So one historical fact about beer during Christmas dates back to the medieval time, um, or the mid ages. The tradition is that during Christmas, a specific beer would be, they would enjoy a Christmas drink, and it was originated with the monasteries.
Oh.
So what they then ended up doing is that the monks would brew a unique and strong ale for the Christmas season, often adding a special ingredients like spices and herbs to enhance the flavor. This Christmas ale was not only a festive beverage, but also a way to celebrate the holiday season with a special brew. The brewing process was often accompanied by ceremonies and rituals within the monastic communities. So, over time, the tradition of brewing Christmas ale spread beyond monasteries, and various regions developed their own version of this festive beer for the holiday season. While specific ingredients and brewing techniques varied, the idea of creating a special beer for Christmas became an ingrained in the brewing culture of many European communities.
Mm.
So,
O sea, puro
all
puro
these like,
Christmas allá, ¿no?
yeah, all this Christmas beer that we, try or whatever came from the monks, dude. Like
Damn.
they're the ones that started, you know,
They're the OGs.
putting different spices and things to, which is a little funny, right? 'Cause I don't know, like, did the monks? This is part of the research that I didn't do.
Oh,
But what would the monks do during this Christmas season? Se supone que ellos no celebrarían Christmas itself,
Yeah.
right?
Se supone.
Maybe they celebrated like the season,
Oh yeah, like the cold
like
weather.
the cold weather, kind of the year's
That makes
ending.
weird. It's weird, but it makes
The,
sense.
the,
Mhm.
what is the sol solstice? Como le dicen?
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
the
so. I
sol
think you're right.
solstice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
But that's how we ended up with seasonal Christmas beer, dude. By the
Yes,
way, Tank, you
yeah,
went to the Guinness bar.
I
my,
did.
my boy.
It's all good, dude. I mean, one of us had to get there sooner or later. Please, just real quickly, tell us about your experience at the Guinness bar here in Chicago. It's at the meat market, which is like Fullerton Market,
Yeah,
Fullerton and Lake area.
yeah, like
Um,
around
mhm.
there. So
What did
I
you?
got
What was it like?
I tried 3 different beers. Um, so I got
No
the
más
cranberry.
tres.
That dude.
Chinga madre.
It's because so we got there like late-ish.
Uh-huh.
Y ya después, ¿cómo se llama? Like, cierran a las 11. so cierran a little early-ish, I guess. So when I
Fair.
got there, I got the cranberry orange wheat, dude, and that
Okay.
was fucking. I liked it. Like I really liked it.
What do you
It's like
know? Was it like ale? Was it
eso sí no me
okay? I
acuerdo,
mean,
dude.
Guinness is known for their stouts, but I don't think they would have
No, I think that'd be a stout.
No,
It would
right
be
so
low.
a
they had a lot
blonde.
of right. They had a lot of like different ales and like the pale ales y todo eso.
Hmm.
So like stouts they had them, pero like estaban como que más aparte on the menu. So they
Okay.
have like their and they had like a few that were coming out soon. Apparently, it seemed like it was like for Christmas around there. Um,
Thanks to the monks.
you see, yeah, gracias a los monks, dude.
Right.
So I tried
Vamos a
that one.
bailar. What was it?
I should have, but no, no censuraban. Dude.
Y después I tried una que se llama A Clever Saying About Coffee, which is like a really coffee flavored beer. And that one was good. That
Like the
what
nitro one that they sell?
I've never
The,
tried that.
the nitro, ¿no? Like in the
Yeah,
can.
the nitro.
Que
Mhm.
hasta soy el pinche balín ahí adentro de la can
Yeah.
y todo ese pedo. Ajá.
I've seen them, but I've never tried those. Just
Mhm.
because normally, like, I'm not really much of a Guinness drinker.
De vez en
Mm.
cuando se antoja.
Y the last one I had, they described it as an I think it was like an Italian ale, was a la nostra dry hopped pils.
Okay.
So like I tried saying the name when I was ordering it, and the waitress was like, "Oh, just say like the Italian pale." I'm like, "All right, Italian pale." But overall they were pretty good. And it seemed like a pretty good chill environment. Tienen like obviously like a lot of breweries tienen sus merch and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Lo único que sí, I did not see like the ones that they had on tap. I didn't see them being sold in a can. Como que like
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
the can ones are like their regular, or at least the
Mm,
ones that I saw was just
sí,
their
just
regular.
your regular, Guinness. Mhm.
Right. Yeah. So no sé si que tenga que ver por eso de que like cambien seguido or like vayan a estar
Yeah,
cambiando.
se supone que that's the thing. Like, I guess that's their attraction, right? Like, you go to try their like different stuff that they have there, pero si
Right.
quieres comprar, pues es the regular stuff que they would sell in a can.
Yeah. But overall it was a good. Eso sí, like según they said that they didn't, well, on the website it says that they don't take reservations. Pero like to get a table is a little tricky. Like we had to wait, like I think it was like 40 minutes to get a table,
So
like
you
an
get a
hour.
table, or you can't just go up there and just like, hey, I'm gonna
No,
go to
yeah,
the bar and just grab a drink.
yeah, you could go to the bar and just
Okay,
grab a drink, pero pues tienen comida también y pues no habíamos comido, dude, so we were trying to eat.
va.
Y
Did you get like, is it like just bar food, or is like Guinness specific? Like, porque muchas veces hacen like, oh, your burger
r-
con Guinness, whatever, you know.
so the burger, I think they said it had they had a burger that was like a Guinness barbecue or something like that. I didn't have that. I ended up having like a chicken sandwich, like a grilled one. Pero eso
Mhm.
sí no tenía like nada Guinness related. So it's like mainly just bar food.
Okay.
Va.
Yeah.
No, pues it's definitely an experience. I definitely want to go check it out.
That'd be nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those. I wanted to do it more closer to well, I guess before it got cold, porque
Yeah.
I don't know what the setup is like, pero cuando recién abrieron, like I'm like I want to go. I still haven't been out there, but for sure I want to try some other stuff. So looking forward to that.
Oh yeah.
Y pues sí, muchachos, I think we're getting close to the end here. Any closing thoughts here, whether that's on news, consuming news, modern media, and all this other stuff.
Mika's the one with the good news outlets, according to him. So I wouldn't know. But no, as far as with me,
Fish,
no.
no?
Pero it is what it is.
It is what
Puro
it
it
is.
is what it is.com, no?
The truth, it is what it is.com.
The truth is, oh,
The
sorry, the
truth.
truth is the truth. No, I think the only parting thoughts I guess I would say was always do your own research and make sure your websites that you go to are legit and
And
not
one of the
like
things that happens on
Mm.
cell phones, when you click on a link, you not necessarily know the URL that you're going to.
right.
So make that extra effort to look at the URL you're going to, because then you end up in it is what it is. The truth, it is what it is.com. That might not be so factual.
And what's it
See.
called? Yeah, just that. Just always don't believe what you hear on social media. Always make your own research because there's a lot of people that have these crazy thoughts about the government and government trying to take over and trying to take people's guns and all these crazy ideas and like the whole COVID is to track you and kind of things. Uh, and they hear these thoughts or they hear these in different little websites or in
Mhm.
blogs. Like I just want to say always do your own research, but like a good thorough research. Casi if it's like a book report, like if si te lo vas a creer, dude, do a book report, like cite your sources, dude. Yeah,
I don't
if
think I
this is
ever did a
legit, dude,
good book
there you
report.
go.
That's a downside.
I don't think Romero ever gave me a good book report to share with my teacher. Then I wouldn't know. Pero va, muchachos. It's time to go ahead and close it off. This is season 3, episode 104. Remember to rate, review, subscribe, and all links can be found at todostomanpodcast.com. Ya saben, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Facebook groups. How we doing with the social media, guys? I haven't checked anything. I'll be honest. We doing okay?
We're staying afloat too.
There you go, dude.
We're
Hell yeah.
staying afloat.
I like that. I like that.
So that opens the door, right? Like Miguel, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna download TikTok again on my phone. But I don't know how we're doing on TikTok. That's Miguel's court. And if
says
you don't
look-
see any TikTok content, dude, just reach out to Miguel.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Tank
get
is
talking
taking care
fish,
of.
dude.
Tank is taking care of Facebook. I'm taking care of Instagram. Johnny Boy is making all the clips and stuff. So, making sure our episode is up there and all that. He does the uploading and making sure the episode goes live on time. So yeah, we're dividing up the work and hopefully you are. I think for me, like this season, like my goal is to get more YouTube subscribers.
Do you want to throw out a number out there? Like, what's the goal?
I don't know. I don't know what a goal is. Maybe next week we'll have a goal, but for now, just if you're listening to this, and whether you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcast or whatever source of podcasting serves, like just go to YouTube/Todos Toman Pod or todostomanpodcast.com
Mm-hmm.
and find our YouTube channel. Subscribe. Doesn't hurt.
It does not. It does not.
It's free. Por ahí dice, ¿no?
Free.com.
Right.
Sí.
You see. Pues
Wow,
ya,
muchachos.
con eso, muchachos. I mean, that wraps us up. Does anybody have a few drinks left? Or ya se les acabó?
That's it, dude.
Poquito.
A little bit left.
So, enough for un clink clink, dude.
Va, un clic para salud, muchachos.
Cheers, guys. Oh. El hielito ya se derritió, ya está listo. Paz y amor, muchachos.
Cuídense mucho. Un besito.
Virtual, no, virtual.
De lejitos para que no nos dé COVID.